What's going on, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. It is Christmas Eve, and how's everybody doing? I watched Over the Limit from 2011 yesterday that my nephew had got me for Christmas. Pretty good pay-per-view, a little different to say the least. R-Truth became a heel. The Miz was vying for John Cena's WWE title. Randy Orton had the world heavyweight title and he defended against Christian in a great match. Matches like this you don't see come by very often, and you sort of forget how great of a competitor Christian was individually. He had just previously won the title for the first time after 17 years, and he held it for 5 days, and he lost it to Randy Orton. Very good match. The whole pay-per-view was pretty cool. The Kiss My Foot match with Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler was cool because it brought out JR, it brought out Bret Hart, and it brought out Eve Torres, whom I had met like 4 years ago at the Women's Expo here in Connecticut. And, seeing her on on Over the Limit, reminded me of when I saw her, and she is, if you ever got to see her in person, she is a beautiful woman. And it was a good pay-per-view. Kane and Big Show were tag team champions at the time, and CM Punk and Mason Ryan went after the titles to no avail, but a good pay-per-view. And I was talking to a friend of mine on Facebook, and we were talking about the territorial days, and God, I miss those days. I really do. I loved it when there were territories and everybody was vying who was the better heavyweight champion in their territory. Was it Ric Flair? Was it Hulk Hogan? Whomever. and it just for me, when we first got cable, you got to watch like the NWAs. Down south wrestling was just like where it's at. Let's face it, it was Tennessee and down south, and it was where it's at. And the Northeast had the original WWWF, and it was good wrestling in its own right, but titles held forever. If you got a belt in that promotion at that time, planned on keeping it for a while, because that's what they used to do. Titles very rarely changed hands, but and it just, the wrestling promotions, when we had a number of them, was so much fun because it was, you could. I remember on Saturdays or Sundays I could watch WCCW, World Class Championship Wrestling, pretty much run by the Von Erichs. It was good. They had some good stars down there. They had Chris Adams and they had the late Gino Hernandez. Anybody who never saw Gino Hernandez wrestle missed out. A great in-ring competitor. It was fun. And we all know that a lot of these guys, jump from promotion to promotion. But it was back in the day. You had AWA, WCCW, you'd had NWA, you'd have the old WWWF. It was just, you got a choice. And not all of them were visible on TV because a lot of us couldn't get those channels because they were only localized in that certain region. But you always could read up about them in the wrestling magazines and stuff. You used to have Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Wrestling Illustrated. There was a lot of wrestling magazines out back then, and that's where you got the scoop on a lot of stuff, and it made it interesting. It really did. I think nowadays with the WWE Network, WWE has programming on pretty much every night of the week, so to speak. And they wonder why ratings drop. There's just too much content. There's too much programming. And then, when you have your major show a 3-hour show on Monday nights, Monday Night Raw, and you just don't know what to do with it. You really don't. You have certain main eventers there, like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, throwing Chris Jericho into that mix. And then other than that, who really is viable to go after for the title? And then you have your part-timers of Goldbergs and the Lesners. Now I know Finn Balor should be coming back. That should be, I guess, a big addition. We really don't know because, let's face it, we only really saw him down in NXT. We never really saw him on the main roster very long because he got hurt right after, he became Universal title holder. So, we don't know. And the same thing goes for SmackDown. You got Ambrose, you got AJ Styles, and now you got the returning of John Cena. And you can sort of throw Miz and Ziggler in that mix. But other than that, who else do you got? And this is part of the big issue. But getting back to the territorial days, if we still had that stuff around, wrestling would be a lot more fun. We'd have our choices. We'd have competition, basically which promotion was better. There'd be like rivalries as far as that goes, much like we saw WCW and WWF. We don't see that now. So what's to become of the world of wrestling? I honestly say if they don't make any kind of major changes or something. I mean, I know they're trying to grab talent from all over the place, and they have done a good job doing so. It's sort of hypocritical, but when TNA used to take the WWE stars, once WWE didn't want them no more, or they had to leave for, the wellness policy or whatever, everybody bitched about TNA taking has-beens from the WWE. But the tables have turned. The WWE's taking people from everybody, and you don't hear anybody bitch and moan. When AJ was in TNA, if you weren't a TNA fan, you weren't a fan of AJ Styles. You didn't have nothing good to say about him. But now that he's in the WWE, now he's the best thing that ever happened. So it's a like and dislike for wrestling promotions. So anyway, I miss the territorial days. I hope someday wrestling will improve, but as it stands now, I still watch it. I'm looking forward to TNA in 2017. Hopefully it will be a big year for them. Not saying it will be, not saying it won't be. I'm hoping John Cena gets his 16th title reign to tie Ric Flair's record in 2017. Not saying it will happen, but saying it should happen. A man within the promotion throughout his career, unlike Ric Flair, who wrestled in many different promotions. And why should he be the man to hold the title? Yes, he is a legend. I understand that. But he wasn't a legend with your own promotion for that length of time. So, and now it seems like they're pushing his daughter Charlotte to be the very best women's wrestler that the WWE's ever had. Not so keen on that right now. Maybe I'll warm up to the fact. I like seeing when Sasha was champion, but they gave her a very short run. And to be honest with you, Bayley is the goody two-shoes, the hugger of the WWE, the baby face. She'll probably get that title, but she'll probably hold it just as long as Sasha did. And it all depends. Certain people within the WWE seem to make out better depending on who you're friends with in upper management. So with all that being said, have a nice Christmas, everybody. This is the Iceman. We'll see you next time. Peace out.